need you to make it real loud. Go crazy, and welcome to the stage, J.P. McDade!
What's up, Brooklyn? How we doing, huh? Yes. I'll address it right away. I'm tall as shit. I'm 6'7", so people are always asking me how tall my parents are. Like I didn't just work hard. There's no nepotism involved. I earned this, okay? We'll have to answer the question now, because I brought it up. The answer is 6'6" and 5'11". My mom's 6'6", my dad's 5'11", so. But I'm actually not tall because of genetics, because that's a myth, like evolution. But I'm actually tall because I eat fast food, and I absorb extra growth hormone that way. It works. I can't stop. Can't stop eating fast food. Like I was eating Popeye's chicken the other day. Based on the leg size, I estimate a Popeye's chicken stands about 4'7". These are not normal chickens. These are Danny DeVito-sized monsters. Like if you go to the slaughterhouse where they kill the Popeye's chickens, it's like a fair fight. We've lost a lot of good men on that floor. My name is JP. That's the other question I get all the time. People ask me what JP stands for every day. It's pretty annoying. Like, could you imagine how annoying it is to have to tell people every day of your life that your name is Jalapeno Poppers? I'm haunted by that soft J. It's tough. It's just a joke. I'll be up here telling jokes for a little while. That's how this works. I'm actually named after my parents. That's what JP stands for. It's JP's parents. So. It's a family name. No, it's James Patrick McDade. That's my full name. I looked it up because I wanted to see if I share my name with anyone in history, and I do. There is another James Patrick McDade. He was an IRA terrorist or freedom fighter. You know, I don't want to assume your politics, but he was an IRA gentleman. And what he did was he planted a bomb in England that only killed him. That's tough news to get as a comedian. You find out you're not even the funniest person with your name. This guy was doing Daffy Duck level physical comedy with dynamite. Just. I've never committed that much to a joke ever. But I was raised Catholic, so it feels good to be on the right side of history. That's good. Tri-state area, Irish Catholic family. I've realized that the first people I ever saw try to do live comedy in front of a crowd were priests. The priests love to joke. The priests love to slide one little joke into the mass. You could tell it's like the only joy in his weird, sexless life. Hopefully sexless. You never know. They got a real transfer portal going with these priests these days, but I digress. The priests love to goof off, is my point. They love to crack a little joke. You can tell by the delivery how excited they are. I was like, the book of Matthew tells us that God is everywhere. He's with our friends and with our enemies and even with the Jets. Just so pleased with himself. Sticking the landing on that topical joke. My family is Brooklyn Irish. We came to this country through Brooklyn. Brooklyn Irish, that's the one New York City ethnic group that nobody is trying to imitate. You go to New York, it's like everyone is imitating black people, Italians, and Jews in some mix. Like there are white girls in Williamsburg, Brooklyn who are like, dead ass, I'm schwitzing right now. Maroon. Nobody's imitating Irish swag. No one's stealing that. No one's walking around like, yeah, I got melanoma again, Jerry. I got a basal cell carcinoma removed from my calf. 4th one this year. We have substance abuse in my family, for sure. Sunscreen mostly. I got SPF 85 on right now. My cousins are very worried because they're raising kids in an era where all the kids vape, right? Let me be clear about something, okay? My kids will never vape. They will blast cigs. Yes. We are a cigarettes family. No iPad until that pack of Newports is finished, okay? Under my roof. They're trying to make vaping illegal in some places, like right as they're making weed legal. It's an interesting dirtbag trade-off that they're giving us. It's good. But weed should be legal. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's just interesting timing, right? Because weed just became a real drug. Weed, it used to be marijuana. It was a harmless little plant. Didn't bother anybody. But now that it's stronger than chemotherapy medicine, now you can get it at the gas station? That doesn't make sense. That means people are just trying it out for the first time and they're dipping their toe in the weed waters with a 2024 edible. That's the most reckless shit I can think of. That's like your first sip of alcohol being a pint of absinthe. Oh yeah, welcome aboard. Here's a Tootsie Roll that's gonna make you feel like you're falling out of an airplane for the rest of the day. That's pot. Enjoy pot. No, it's not right. You gotta smoke dirt weed, okay? Dirt weed is a human right. I need to bring it back. You gotta smoke dirt weed, and then you gotta smoke it in increasingly complex contraptions trying to get high. Until you've just got a full game of Mousetrap in front of you with like a bucket of water and a half a Gatorade bottle with a wing nut in the cap, a couple 9-volt batteries. Do some engineering. But I'm kind of a poser, I gotta say. I don't really like weed that much. It just doesn't agree with me. I mean, I've tried it hundreds of times, but basically just to confirm that I don't like it. The experiment is conclusive. I'll trick myself from time to time. Like, recently, I hadn't touched THC in any form in over 2 years. But then, on a whim, I took a 25 milligram edible by myself in my apartment. I see some of you know the metric system. Took a 25 milligram edible, and then I just spent the rest of the night trying to act cool for no one. It's a tough look. But alcohol was my big one. We had a nice, prosperous relationship, me and alcohol. It was pretty good. Alcoholism is a disease that you get from not praying hard enough, and it runs in my family. So I was like asking for some advice from older relatives when I was starting to quit. I was like, how do you know if you're an alcoholic? Like, what's the sign that you have a problem? And my aunt told me, nah, don't worry about it, you're fine. She said, you're good? She said, you're not an alcoholic unless you need liquor to get through a work day. Thought that was an interesting definition, right? Just didn't know you needed to have a job. That's a pretty huge loophole you left open there. It's not good. But I think I got taken by alcohol because of all the advertising that we're exposed to growing up in this country. Like, alcohol is sold to you from the day that you're born, and they're always telling you that it's a very cool thing to do. Alcohol really isn't that cool, right? But like, you'll see James Bond, he'll drink a vodka martini and then go do a mission and then fuck a woman so well that it destabilizes the Soviet Union. That's not real life. That's not what alcohol is really like. I didn't mean for the lights to dim to indicate gravitas there. The lights go down and I'm just like... You know, I used to think my father was James Bond. I would say that the peak of my drinking was when I was in college. I remember one year on spring break, me and my college friends, we went on a cruise. Make some noise, you ever been on a cruise before? Okay, good. Seafaring audience, that's good. It's a port city. But if you've never been on a cruise, it's basically just a big shipment of dads. That's all it is, just a bunch of fat dads being transported from island to island like the precious cargo that they are. Big ass Tommy Bahama shirts on, cell phones off the holster, just cutting loose. Doing bad karaoke on the Lido deck. Free birds! Going off. A cruise is not a classy affair. A cruise is like where you celebrate a slip and fall settlement. That was the vibe on this one. So it was me and the dads and my friends having a trashy good time. We were getting hammered. It was one of those trips where we would get drunk every time we were awake. That was our itinerary. We were drinking Long Island iced teas. Are we familiar with this fine delicacy of Long Island? Basically, you take a tall glass, you fill it with gin, vodka, antifreeze, blue Gatorade. Just a little bit of crack around the rim for flavor, just some light cracking. And we were getting fucked up on those, and we noticed that on the top deck of the cruise ship, they had water slides. So we were like, yeah, let's go ruin that. The young adults are coming to use the water slides. Think about a cruise ship water slide, right? It's an enclosed tube with water in it. Children slide down it all day long. Basically a sewer. Like a fun sewer. You know, we were like, let's go be Ninja Turtles. We don't care. And we climbed all the way up these stairs to the top of the cruise ship water slide. And there's a guy sitting there on a stool. And this guy has one job, and that is to make sure that the coast is clear before the next person goes down the slide. Keep that in mind. It's foreshadowing. So my friends are all more normal-sized people, and they go flying down the water slide. They come out the other end, no problem. They have a great time. Then it's my turn. I fling my long, weird body down into the tube, and I start losing speed right away. There was some defective about the water slide for me. I lose speed, and then about halfway through the water slide, I came to a complete stop. That's not what you want. Quick sidebar. Are any of you familiar with Centralia, Pennsylvania? Have we heard of this? No Centralia heads? Unbelievable. If you haven't heard of it, it's because it's an uninhabited town. No one lives there anymore because in 1962, they lit a garbage fire there, and it caught a seam, and it went underground, and it ignited a giant coal reserve. The fire is still burning to this day. Scientists estimate that it will continue to burn for another 250 years. We've all fucked up at our jobs. You ever fuck up so bad you create hell? That's pretty bad. And for a long time, I thought that was as bad as you could be at your job until I met this guy at the top of the Carnival cruise ship water slide. Here's what happened. Cut back to me. I'm in the middle of the water slide, dark and alone. That's when I heard the scream of a 6-year-old girl from the top of the slide. I know that she was 6 because we met. 6-year-olds go about 90 miles an hour in water slides. That is the physics lesson I got that day. She comes zipping around a curve, she slams into my back. Immediately one of us starts crying, and I just have no options. I just have to do the redneck luge for both of us all the way down the remaining 17 kilometers of this water slide. You know who hangs out at the bottom of cruise ship water slides? Dads. That is a hell of a first impression to make. Oh, hey, what's up? I'm the giant drunk monster that was in the tube with your baby. How are you? Pleased to make your acquaintance. And I go up to this girl's dad, and I'm apologizing profusely, like, sir, I'm so sorry. The guy at the top, Centralia, he fucked me. I didn't mean for this. The dad was like, free bird! He didn't give a shit. He was fine with everything that happened. It was totally cool. The lesson is never travel. Don't go anywhere. Just stay home where it's safe. I did a lot of traveling this year. I saw a lot of different cities across this country. What's the thing that you use when you're in a new city? You're trying to figure out what to do and see. You use Google reviews, right? Like everything has a rating out of 5 stars on Google reviews. You know what has 4.4 stars? The Great Wall of China. Seems a bit low. Kind of a slap in the face to those ancient laborers. They didn't know they were being graded by assholes from Kentucky. These ancient Chinese people, they carried these heavy stones to the top of a mountain range. They meticulously put this wall together by hand, and it's been torn down by invaders and rebuilt and stood in the face of erosion and pollution for generations, and millions of people have come from around the world and seen the Great Wall of China and have said in one clear collective voice, B+. To put that in perspective, you know what has 4.3 stars on Google reviews? The Carrabba's Italian Grill in Brandon, Florida. It's like, legally speaking, almost as good as the Great Wall of China. It's like right there. You gotta use the online reviews sometimes. You know where you really need to use the online reviews? Getting a massage. Because as we know, there are 2 very different kinds of massage place. And like one type of massage place will have reviews that are like, I got the deep tissue massage from Eric. It really limbered up my thoracic spine. And the other kind of massage place will have reviews like, I have never been here. I love my wife. But I can't believe people are complaining about the Great Wall of China, thinking it didn't live up to their expectations. Like, people are going to see the Great Wall and being like, yeah, it would be cool if it had a Banksy on it or something that we could take a picture with. Just Banksy annoys me. I don't think people would respect him so much if he wasn't like a mysterious, anonymous figure, you know? Because he's probably just some British kid with opinions. That's all he is. Like, if you talk to Banksy about his projects, he'd be insufferable. Just telling you about him, like,
Oh yeah, this one. Now this one's about how corporations is bad. You see that? It's an iPhone, but it says slavery on it. It's like we slaves to technology. Think about it. It's mental. It's good to be here in New York, man. I love New York. I love living here in this city. It's a privilege, I think. It's fucking awesome, yeah.
New York is very cool. I try to appreciate it every day. I try to walk around, see the sights. But every now and then I'll see someone in New York where I'm like, ugh, I get it. You have money. Stop shaking your cup full of coins at me. It's obnoxious how the rich carry on. But New York will let you know where you stand economically. Like, I know that I'm not as successful as I want to be because I've never once gone to see an apartment and said no. It's been a firm yes immediately every time. I'm just in there like, if you let me live here, I will be so good. It's not a firm bargaining position to be in. It's not good. But I am a roommate. I know that the word roommate has had several definitions. Like, gay people I know would use roommate as like a code word for their significant other. Like if their families weren't accepting, they'd say their roommate is coming to dinner. Now I think times have changed. People have gotten a lot more tolerant. Now I think it's just more embarrassing to have roommates. Like that's worse. Like you go to some guy's house, he's in his 30s. Is that your roommate? No, we blow each other. Yeah. Nothing weird going on here. Come on. Spent too much time with my roommates during the lockdown. It was tough. We all just kind of witnessed each other's mental decline. It was rough. Like I knew that the pandemic was for real when I saw my roommate in the kitchen. He had a frying pan going, and in the frying pan were mixed vegetables and, I shit you not, dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. That's a microwave food, buddy. What are we doing? You know shit has hit the fan when grown men are sautéing triceratops in a white wine reduction. But we all learned stuff about ourselves during the lockdown, right? Like what I learned about myself is that I extremely don't read books. Like not at all. That would have been the time, right? I had 36 hours a day of free time. Couldn't squeeze in one book. It's like, sorry, authors. I got YouTube to watch, okay? Gotta watch this guy shoot paint cans with a sniper rifle. See what 50 cal does to green. Can't be bothered with literature right now. But books are dumb. Yeah, I said it. Books are dumb. I'm a very edgy comedian. Books have become stupid. I know this because I was in Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago because they have a bathroom. And I was looking at all the bestsellers that they have there. A lot of these best-selling books are like goofy, motivational books for young business people. You know what I mean? They all have like pastel covers and obscene titles. They're all called like, How to Be the Fucking Money Bitch. I'm sure it's full of sound financial advice. It's very good. I was working at a tech startup a few years ago. One of these tech startups where there are no adults. Like everyone in there was the exact demographic of the Fyre Fest. It was a real chain smokers concert in the office. I didn't like it one bit. You would hear weird things in business meetings. Like, that's actually a really gangster point, Megan. I didn't know Megan was gang affiliated this whole time. But I worked in a more traditional office before that. I didn't like that either. Like there were just weird things that would throw me off. Like there was a janitor on my floor who used to call me boss. That's uncomfortable, right? Because I asked him to call me big boy. I wish people would do their jobs. I had a coworker in that office who was from Staten Island, and she told me that when she was growing up on Staten Island, she was a Girl Scout. That should not be happening. Staten Island Girl Scouts, that's a terrorist organization. Nothing useful is being learned there. It's like, today we're gonna learn how to identify poison ivy and bitches who think they're better than you. That office that I worked in, it was in Lower Manhattan, right next to the 9/11 Memorial. If you haven't been to the 9/11 Memorial, I'll tell you, it's probably the #1 place in the world to see someone somberly use a selfie stick. That doesn't happen at a lot of places. But like, you'll go to the memorial, you'll see someone crying, you'll see someone praying, and then just some guy like, just making the weirdest Tinder profile you've ever seen in your life. Letting all the shorties know he never forgot. Whatever gets them swipes, man. I love the energy that New York has, though. It's a multicultural city. That's very cool. I sometimes take it for granted that a lot of the people around me are just living their lives in a second or third language. That's amazing, but like, you see it every day, right? Like, there's this guy at my deli. I don't know where he's from, but he's clearly very proud of how well he learned English because he just throws in extra words. Next customer, please step down to the register in the store today. Just flexing on everybody. I could never do that. Like, I took Spanish in school for years, and I've never once been confident enough to use Spanish in real life. Like, I'm about as confident speaking Spanish as an NBA player answering a question about China. It's like, what do you think about the human rights abuses, the Taiwan situations? Just happy to be here. Where is the bathroom? I like the multicultural energy. I like everyone's kind of driven. Everyone's got a hustle. Like, there's this guy on my subway platform who I see every summer. He's a small businessman, and what he does is he sells cold waters out of a briefcase. I love this guy because his sales pitch is just this: 1 for $1, 2 for $2. That's not a deal. It's not a sales event of any kind. But I like that. He's letting you know that you're not going to get ripped off, right? For every bottle of water that you ask me to give you, I'm going to charge you for an additional bottle of water. Maximum number that you can buy is limited to the number that I got here in the suitcase. You can buy the suitcase if you want, but you got to give me enough money to buy another suitcase. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that the cost of a good or a service is whatever the consumer is willing to pay for it. This is determined by the so-called invisible hand of the market, which moves with levels of supply and demand for the good in question. I'd like to teach us more about economics, but I don't want to be a professor at a university because I find that the path to tenure is usually more about politics than academic merit. So I sell waters. Yes, that man has a very thorough pitch, and he's definitely real too. Stop asking. New York City, everyone has a therapist. Everyone I know has a therapist. Too many people are in therapy, to be quite frank. A lot of you would be better off insane. I feel like a lot of people just go to therapy so they can like throw it in your face. They're working on themselves. Like, they just want to ask you little therapy questions to seem insightful. Like, I was on a date with this girl last year, and she was like, do you feel safe around your mom? I could take her. You know where nobody's in therapy? On Facebook. Check in on Facebook. It's currently the best it's ever been. Facebook 2024 is the peak of the website. You know why? Because Facebook today is only the dumbest people you've ever known. And they're all talking about their lives in a very dramatic way. Like the guy from your hometown who had to fire his friend from his deli because he kept doing whippets behind the counter. That guy's posting a Facebook status like, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." The guy who got fired is posting his own status like, "A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep." It's Shakespearean. It's really powerful stuff. A lot of people are in therapy. I personally don't need therapy because I have sports betting. But if you do it, that's fine. The therapist of America right now is Dr. Jordan Peterson. Are we familiar with the good Dr. Peterson? Jordan Peterson is that guy who pops up on your computer screen from time to time who looks like the concierge at a ghost hotel. He's always trying to urge men to be more manly, like, sort yourself out! Sort yourself out, make your bed! Be useful to society! And then 5 seconds later, he's crying about a children's movie for some reason. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles celebrate their masculinity but are relegated to the sewer. But the main protagonist of the internet right now has to be Elon Musk. What a guy. Elon Musk fucking sucks. I hate that guy. He's a huge dork. But I have to admit, Elon Musk did something very smart when he first took over Twitter. He made a brilliant move. The first week that Elon Musk was in charge of Twitter, he came out and he was like, "Don't worry, everybody. I got rid of all the child pornography from Twitter." And we were like, "The what now?" Nobody knew about that. So like, what a smart thing to say you did. Because nobody's gonna check you on that. Nobody's gonna be like, "Nah, you can still find it." What a way to start a job. Try it. I encourage all of you, next time you get a new job, try that little maneuver. See if it doesn't win you a few points. Just call everyone in like, "Hey everybody, I know it's only my second day, but I took care of our child pornography problem." I didn't know we had that at Zales the Diamond Store. But thank you. Thank you for taking the initiative. There's been a lot of people weighing in these last couple of years, saying a lot of very unkind things about our criminal justice system. And that really bothers me as a former juror. Did my service mean nothing? You know? The cops are very high-strung and intense, but you can use that to your advantage if you know how. Like, I got pulled over for speeding in North Carolina a few years ago, and I got the ticket reduced because I told the cop I was in the zone. That worked. He respected the zone. He's like, "You were doing 92, but I'm gonna write down 84, because that's what 92 feels like in the zone." So you blew through that yield sign, that shows me you're a winner. Yield signs are the substitute teachers of the road, right? You've seen them out there with just no authority whatsoever. Every yield sign is just out there like, "Hey, come on, you gotta stop. Come on." Bullshit. I was driving to a gig recently and I was stuck in traffic behind a car that had 2 bumper stickers on it. It kind of threw me off. The first bumper sticker said, "Gas, grass, or ass, nobody rides for free." That's just cool. That's just a good policy to have. That's not what bothered me. The sticker that bothered me was the one right above it. It said, "Baby on board." So, like, you know the rules, little buddy. I was at the tailor a couple weeks ago getting some condoms taken in. I was thinking about manhood and masculinity and how it's used to sell products to us men. I don't like it. I don't like being marketed to as a man. It's always very intense and insulting. It's like, men's moisturizer. Are you smooth enough for war? It's got little skulls and crossbones on it. We don't need that kind of hostility, Vaseline. It's a bit much. It's always so intense. That's why I think if you're a gay guy and you're in the closet, all you have to do, are there any closeted gay men here? Just trying to help. If you're gay and you don't want people to know, all you need to do is just develop one toxic straight male trait. No one will ask any more questions. It's like, oh, you think I'm gay? Would a gay guy have a gambling problem? Come on. Or the advertisers are going the other way now, where they're advertising to like the soft men. Like, are we familiar with Hims products? Have we seen the ads for Hims? Every Hims ad is like, hey, are you a fat, balding, lip dick pussy? We have a nice non-threatening color palette for you to look at while you take our fake drugs. Is anyone here a pro athlete? All right, just making sure I'm still the alpha. Toughest athletes in the world, I think, have got to be the Paralympic athletes. I think it's amazing that these people compete against each other for my amusement. That's really cool. No, the Paralympics is amazing, but like, I just don't understand the logistics of it, right? Because there's so many different injuries you could have. There's so many different sports. There are thousands of combinations. There's no way they can do them all. Like, I imagine they just have two big wheels that they spin, figure out who gets in, just like, blind? Javelin. Blind javelin is back after the 09 incident. That was a dicey one. You guys are cool. Let's see how cool you can be. There was another mass shooting recently. I assume it's a pretty evergreen premise. When a mass shooting happens, people like to come out and they say, don't politicize this. Don't make a political issue of this tragedy. And I don't agree with that. Like, I grew up in Newtown, Connecticut, right? I went to Sandy Hook Elementary School. And when the shooting happened there, like, I went home and I saw firsthand, like, the emotional devastation that an event like that can bring on a whole community of people. So I can say with some authority, if I die in a mass shooting, politicize my death. 100%. You have my permission. Actually, no matter what the cause of my death, make it a big political issue. Just write your congressman. If a piano falls on me, slash the budget for public school music programs nationwide. Beat up Billy Joel, do something. After the shooting, like, there was a rash of mass shootings and the NRA went on the offensive. They were posting content online. Like, they posted this infographic that was like, I have a gun in my home for the same reason you have a fire extinguisher. That's fucked up, right? Like, you use a gun to scare your dog? That's not right, dude. Everyone I know is having kids. A lot of my friends are having kids. A lot of my enemies, too. That's no good. We've all seen it before, right? Like the social media birth announcement from some moron from your past. Like, oh, we were torn between the name Kirsten and Kristen for our baby daughter, but we fucking love our baby Krustin. Great, I'm sharing the world with Krustin now. This is gonna be awesome. I don't know though, because like, That's what everyone's working toward with dating, right? I don't know, like, dating is just so uncomfortable. I was doing the first date thing last year. I have a girlfriend now, but like, we're not using that term. She insists on caseworker. It's going pretty good. But before that, like last year, I was doing the first date thing. And a first date is so uncomfortable, right? Like there's all this pressure that both of you feel to keep the conversation moving. They say you need to just ask questions, move the conversation along. But eventually I run out of questions. Like, oh, you're from Denver? What's 6 times 8? What do we do now? I don't know though, because like if the end result of dating is marriage, I don't know if I even believe in that, right? Because like more than half of marriages end in divorce. That's sad, right? That's sad for all those kids out there whose fault it is. It's gotta be humiliating. I actually know a guy, this is true, I know a guy who recently got a mail order bride. That is true, and it wouldn't bother me if he weren't my current roommate. That was quite the addition to throw in there, but I'm living in the honeymoon suite right now, it's all right. And he's still trying to convince me that it's like a real relationship and they met organically. It's like, buddy, your anniversary is Prime Day. You're not fooling anybody. I just want to poll the audience here. Quick show of hands. Who here has genital herpes? Could we get those hands up? Another shutout. Unbelievable. We need to end the stigma around genital herpes, okay? We need to drop this hurtful stigma. I mean, please don't think for 1 second that I have it, but we need to get rid of this stigma. Because even now, people will make fun of you or shame you if you hook up with someone who has herpes. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you have not had sex with someone who has herpes, you are missing out. Think about it. Do not the best chefs of the world have burns on their hands? It's a mark of greatness. Herpes autocorrects to heroes. I don't think it's a mistake. All I'm saying is, if there's a dragon in the cave, there's some gold in there too, okay? That's all. And I say all that to say this, you gotta get out and vote. Really? We have an election year coming up, it's gonna get insane. It's gonna be really nuts. Joe Biden must not run for re-election. He must not seek the office again. Why? Because it's Hunter's time. Hunter Biden is ready to lead. Can any of you smoke crack and drive a car 170 miles an hour? No. That's leader of the free world type shit. A portion of your ticket sales tonight will benefit the Hunter 2024 campaign. Gonna make this happen. It's been a rocky road for old Joe. He's a fun-loving guy, and he is not having any fun in office. He's not even having fun with like the silly parts of being president, like pardoning a turkey on Thanksgiving. Just out there on the White House lawn, like, this is a good bird, man. He didn't do nothing to nobody. Sir, that's German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Ah, dang. Goofed it up again. I was more of a Bernie Sanders guy in the last election because my opinions are correct. I'm one of God's perfect angels. And I know that Bernie Sanders is a polarizing figure. People love him or hate him. But whatever your opinion of the man, you have to admit he is electric on TV. I love seeing Bernie on TV. It always looks like he got there through a series of accidents. Like he slid on a banana peel and fell down a manhole. Just landed behind the microphone like, sorry, I'm late. I accidentally set my hotel room on fire. I was trying to make a grilled cheese on the iron. They don't let you do that anymore. It's fascism. I knew that I liked Bernie Sanders when he first started campaigning nationally, and one of the big issues he ran on was ATM fees and how they're bullshit. I was like, that's my fucking guy right there. We have the same economic policy. I do think, though, and this is just my honest prediction, how I think the election is going to go in 2024, I do think Donald Trump is going to win. I think that Donald Trump is one minor rebrand away from being president again. I'm gay. I'm gay and I'm a bottom. Bottom. Most beautiful bottom you've ever seen. Send me to jail. I like it. I'll be the belle of the ball. You guys have been amazing. I've had so much fun with you. Thank you so much.